Well, good morning. Good morning. There we go. Were you excited? Come on. This is a different kind of press conference, folks, okay? We can get excited in here. I'm totally fine with that. I love the standing room only arena right here. So thank you all for being here. So good morning. I am Matt Pinnell. I'm your Lieutenant Governor. And on behalf of the state of Oklahoma, it is my pleasure to welcome each of you today to a historic and exciting unveiling of Oklahoma's new brand. Before we begin our formal remarks, I'd like to first introduce a few guests. Joining me at the podium, the Honorable Kevin Stitt, Governor of the state of Oklahoma. And Steve Hendrickson, Director of Government Operations for the Boeing Company and Secretary and Treasurer of the Oklahoma Business Roundtable. There are a number of other people certainly in the room that I could introduce, but there are a few certainly that help make this day possible. First off, the Oklahoma Business Roundtable that I just mentioned that Steve is a part of, one of the best organizations that we have in the state. Financially, they helped make today possible. So again, thank you to the Oklahoma Business Roundtable. The thank you. Mid-American Industrial Park, Dave Stewart, also from a financial perspective. Thank you, Dave, for all your help. The Chickasaw Nation also in the house. Frank, thank you for your help financially in this effort as well. And one individual, certainly, there's a number of team captains and OKLX members that I'll be thanking here in a minute, but Jennifer Springer, who was our project manager from the beginning. Jennifer, thank you for your help. And we also have Mariah Davis, Miss Oklahoma USA on the front row. Thank you, Mariah, for being here. So last summer, I invited more than 200 of Oklahoma's brightest and most creative designers, marketing experts, communication professionals, videographers, and photographers to join me in this very room. This very room. We're having this here for many reasons. This is one of the best brands that we have in the state of Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Yes? Thank you to the Thunder. But in this very room, we got 200 individuals together to begin this process. Their task, develop a cohesive new brand for Oklahoma that best represents our heritage and history, our booming industry, our beautiful one-of-a-kind vistas, and most importantly, our greatest asset, our people. Participants flooded this room from small towns and large urban cities filled with diversity and varied political leanings. The most diverse room that I think we've gotten together in Oklahoma in a very long time, and it was pretty amazing to see. All eager to provide his or her influence in that creative process. Many believe branding is simply about designing a logo and writing a slogan. Quite simply, that oversimplifies the process. Developing a new brand for Oklahoma requires a more thorough and robust effort. For that, I wanted the best. And no one knows Oklahoma better than Oklahomans. Over the course of these months, I have witnessed these individuals become productive teams. Those that compete for work out in the private sector came together as teams, dropped the egos to help us build this brand. These teams combined, again, years of professional experience in their industry with years of personal experience of being an Oklahoman. Joining us in this room today are over 45 members of that OKLX team. Their work culminated in equal parts marketing insight, intuition, and in-depth research on how Oklahoma's brand resonates among some of the nation's most widely admired brands. Would members of the OKLX team stand, or for those that are already standing in this standing room only room, please hold up your hand. Again, could not have done it without those volunteers. This has never been done before. No state has brought together volunteers from across a state to come together to give their creative talent to build a brand and volunteer their efforts. No state. Never been done before. And it would not have been done, again, without those OKLX members. So again, another round of applause for those individuals because they deserve it. And now it's my honor and privilege to introduce the individual working hard every single day, 24/7, I assure you, to have an even greater influence on the perception of Oklahoma within the state, across the nation, and around the globe. I would not have been given this authority without this individual giving me the authority to do it. And I think that needs certainly to be known here. So, please help me welcome our 28th governor of the great state, not the okay state, the great state of Oklahoma, the Honorable Kevin Stitt.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. And thank you for all you're doing to grow Oklahoma's economy and represent our valuable industry in tourism. Isn't he doing a fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen? If anyone here follows the Lieutenant Governor on social media, you will know he has traveled across the state, visiting the small businesses on Main Street, viewing our iconic sunsets in the glass mountains of the Panhandle, and listening to Oklahoma stories and ideas. He is literally living the lyrics of Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, man. Good job, buddy. His enthusiasm and passion for our state, our land, and our people is evident, making him the perfect leader in this endeavor. So it was an easy choice to give him this project, and he has done a great job leading it. It's my pleasure to join the Lieutenant Governor and Steve Hendricks and all of the Oklahoma X creative volunteers who played a vital role in this project as we unveil Oklahoma's new brand. As a lifelong Oklahoman myself, I hold a great deal of pride in our state. It's why I chose to go to college here at Oklahoma State. Go Cowboys. I'm a little more neutral now, so Boomer Sooner. It's why I built my business here, and it continues to thrive and grow, headquartered in Jinx, Oklahoma. It's why I chose to raise my family, just like everybody in this room, surrounded by the values that's just ingrained in Oklahoma of faith and hard work, the generosity that Oklahomans have, the patriotism that we have in our state. It's why I ran for governor, to try to make Oklahoma and let the world know that Oklahoma is, can be, will be a top 10 state, a place where our children have a very bright future for generations to come. You know, taking pride in our state does not mean we turn a blind eye to the difficult issues. We will continue to move the needle in our education and support of our teachers, and support of all of our schools across our state. It is why we're going to continue to improve the health outcomes, and you saw me roll out my health care plan earlier this week. It's why I continue to try to bring accountability, transparency, and efficiencies all across state government. It's why we're going to continue to bring hope to our DHS system. Thank you, Justin Brown. However, taking pride in our state does mean we recognize and celebrate surprising facts, such as our 5 distinct geographical terrains in our state, the variety of all of our small towns that are found along the mother road of Route 66, who you have done a great job of highlighting. It's the amazing assortments of our art collection and all of our museums, and the diversification of our industries, from our one-person entrepreneurs to our largest employers in our state. Time and time again, first as a business owner and now as governor, I get to talk to a lot of people during my travels across this country. I'm constantly surprised by how little that people know about Oklahoma from the rest of the nation. From the historical land run, it was the beginning of our townships as people moved to this territory to begin a new life. The nation's largest oil reserves were found right here. Our state was flooded by wildcatters and industrialists. We built the first post office and airports in the West, and people followed. We established a capital right in the middle of our state, and people followed. Our history is rich with these stories, and I stand before you today and challenge anyone that calls Oklahoma a flyover state. We are not a flyover state. Oklahoma is a destination. Now let's go tell the rest of the world about it. This movement created by Oklahoma X volunteers reminds me of the famous quote by Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and to each and every one of you that was involved in this project. We appreciate all your hard work. Together with this new brand for Oklahoma, made by Oklahomans, we will continue to foster pride in our great state and let the world and the nation know Oklahoma is the place to be. So thank you. I am proud to be an American, but I thank God that I was raised in Oklahoma.
Sorry, I'm getting there. Let's see it now. We're getting there, okay? We're getting there. The moment we have all been anticipating. Based on key attributes uncovered and through a competitive audit, the Okla X team staked out an authentic emotional positioning for Oklahoma. I think that's really important to mention. Authentic and emotional. States that certainly do this, that don't do it in an emotional way, a lot of times fail. We didn't want to make that mistake, and that's why we did an audit, and we certainly compared ourselves against the competition. We are a remarkable, friendly place of people who embrace and support each other and newcomers, so everyone can thrive. The process was not about creating an identity, but instead this process was about revealing and highlighting one that was already there. So with that, here is your first look.
Imagine a place that is home to over 200 lakes and it has 55,000 miles of shoreline. A place where you can pursue your biggest dreams. Where family reunions can be a little more unconventional. A place that gets your blood pumping and your heart beating. And here, you can be king of the world. Imagine a place where innovators and entrepreneurship thrives. And with a little grit and a whole lot of swagger, you can be as big as you want to be. Life is about creating excitement and wonder with those you love. Imagine a place that allows you to explore the world that surrounds you. Because this state offers the most diverse terrain in the land, which is as diverse as the people who call it home. This is Oklahoma, the hub of America. Imagine that.
Again, Governor, if you wouldn't mind, stand up here. We're going to turn this over real quick. Little logo for you. Thank you, man. Every time I watch that film, I get an enormous amount of pride in our state, and that is just the beginning of what you will be seeing. Living the life we choose and reaching our own personal versions of happiness are the ideals on which Oklahoma was founded, as the governor said in his comments. Beyond the first impressions that blow us away, that we always talk about, imagining a place that we can thrive, Oklahoma is where newcomers can look forward to an accelerated career path, early home ownership, starting their own new enterprises. Businesses relocate and they stay here for the vibrant culture and the affordable lifestyle their employees desire. Residents proudly share Oklahomans with visitors so they too can appreciate the state's remarkable history, native heritage, awe-inspiring land and sky, and the fusion of traditional and modern experiences. Selflessly generous, Oklahomans greet each other and visitors with a lasting, supporting embrace. Whether it's a 3-day visit or the adventure of a lifetime, Oklahomans give everyone an opportunity to thrive. Our tagline connects us with our audiences with a short, memorable, it's got to be short, memorable set of words that help set expectations of what an Oklahoma experience is like. Something that taps into the surprise, but also helps from an emotional perspective, helps them realize you can actually still live the American dream in Oklahoma. So at this time, I'd like to invite the following team captains to help unveil some additional concepts that we will deploy. This is really a campaign, giving you an idea of some of the campaigns that we can do. Brenda Jones-Barwick, Jesse Boudiette, who's not able to join us, Brian Burns, Whitney Emmerich, Mike Kaler, Dan Martell, and Sarah Sears, who are some of our team captains who definitely deserve a round of applause. And you all can start just turning over some of these concepts, some of these really just surprising facts about the state of Oklahoma. It's world's largest collection of American Western art. Imagine that. More shoreline than the Atlantic coast. Imagine that. #1 city for entrepreneurs. Why are we not talking about this? Imagine that. Most diverse terrain in the nation. Yes, we always talk about it. Let's talk about it more. Imagine that. More languages spoken here than any other state. Imagine that. Diversity. We were diverse before it was cool to be diverse. Okay? We do diverse very well in the state of Oakland, both our land and our people, and it's time for us to be talking about it. The personal computer was invented here. Didn't know that. Imagine that. More astronauts than any other state. Yes, imagine that. And there are so many more ideas and storyboards that we can share, but we're just kind of giving you an idea. This showing up in the Dallas or Houston airport, I think works really well. To tell, again, not just other states that we're better and that we're better than okay, but the rest of the world. So we look forward to seeing, again, these surprising facts our businesses, citizens, and state agencies will also share. A little bit more also about the creative concepts here of the new logo. The design is based on shapes and colors embedded in our history. The form is inspired by our native heritage. It reflects earth, sky, water, agriculture, and forest. We have 12 different ecosystems in the state. And when we did research, people were fascinated by this, that not only did we have every season, but we had 12 different ecosystems. That really sells when it comes to retaining and recruiting talent to a state. So all of these colors, I can see middle school and high school contests, again, describing what these colors represent. A white star, powerful symbol of America, which is a part of our state seal and on the original state flag that everybody always talked about. Well, we really like the original state flag. We really like that star, so we brought that back, okay? Also, and this is something that we're going to be talking a whole lot about, and you saw it in the video, this is not just the crossroads of America. This is the hub of America. The hub of America. This is where industry can thrive from an entrepreneurship perspective, big and small businesses alike. We want to own that. Okay, we're not going to let any other state own that they are the center of the country. This is it. This is the hub of America, and it's why we wanted to bring back that star. The chevrons acknowledge our military. We talk about our military some. We need to talk about our military a whole lot more. One of the largest veteran populations, some of the again, that American pride, that state pride, that is here in large part because of that strong military history and current employees that we have in the state. Values veterans, our bases, so many bases, and our history of assisting America in time of war. Together, these elements form a circle and direct their energy inward, again, dramatizing Oklahoma as a hub of the center of America. Now, what do we tend to do next? There's a lot of exciting things that we tend to do next. This is just the beginning, as I said. This is day one of the transformation. When Governor Stitt and I took office, it quickly became apparent that our state agencies were very fragmented in the way that they represent Oklahoma. There was no single identity, no cohesiveness to tie more than 200 government agencies together. It took some time, but the earliest changes you will see is on the new Oklahoma branded OK.gov, which now is Oklahoma.gov. We're done saying OK. We're done saying it. We still own OK.gov, and you will be redirected. You'll be redirected to Oklahoma.gov. But if you go there now, and if you went to OK.gov yesterday and you went there today, folks, it is about as big of a night and day difference as you possibly can see. And we had a lot of people in this room that helped us do that. You will now start seeing this transformation across these government agencies. Additionally, in the next few days, when you cross over that invisible line in the state of Oklahoma, you will be greeted with new Welcome to Oklahoma signs. Yes. Something that I know we've all been very frustrated about for a very long time. Governor, it took us a year to do it, but we got it done far sooner than pretty much any other state. You will start seeing that transformation as well. When people step over that invisible line, cross over that into yes, it is the crossroads of America. So there's millions and millions of cars and trucks beating up our roads every day. They're not even from here. They're just buying a bag of chips, a tank of gas, and going to the bathroom at our welcome centers. What are we showing them? Well, we're going to start showing them a much better welcome mat. So thank you to the Department of Transportation for that early coordination. The coordination inside of state government, that was a directive from Governor Stitt. He wanted us to be working with other government agencies, and it's made a huge difference. And so Tim Gatz and his team over at the Department of Transportation, for us to get these signs up, again, that wasn't a year, that was just a couple months to do it. That has not been done in the state in a very long time. This is all part of a long-term strategy to position Oklahoma as a destination location for people, visitors, and new employees. And here to share some insight on its potential is one of Oklahoma's premier businesses and community leaders, the Government Affairs Director for the Boeing Company, and a member again of the Board of Directors for the Oklahoma Business Roundtable. Please welcome Steve Hendrickson.
So on its face, you may wonder what in the world the business community has in terms of interest for this. So number one, let me just thank the governor and lieutenant governor for honoring business by allowing us to participate in this. At a recent meeting of the Oklahoma Business Roundtable Board of Directors, we were actually sharing anecdotes about people that we talked to outside the state, pulling on one of the governor's points about some folks that don't know a lot about Oklahoma. We basically kind of talk to folks in a couple different categories, whether we are talking to entrepreneurs, trying to convince them that they need to come to Oklahoma to start their business, or we're talking to prospective employees. I do that a lot. We're hiring 500 or plus more people this year. We do a lot of interviews, and we basically find one of two things. Either the candidate that we want to hire or the person that we're trying to attract to establish a business here, one, doesn't know anything about Oklahoma at all. That's okay. You can deal with that. You're working with a clean slate. It takes a while to bring them up to speed, but you can deal with that. Or number two, it's somebody that has been informed by novels, some historical novels, some contemporary novels that probably don't accurately depict what life is like. And I can never have one of these conversations without somebody bringing up that person from Central Casting during one of our unfortunate weather events that shows up through both of their teeth in front of their former single-wide trailer talking about what life is like in Oklahoma. We are not, I don't mean to disparage anybody who's had unfortunate things happen to them, but that is not who we are. So you have to kind of take from that position and go forward and say what Oklahoma actually is. Well, thanks to your hard work, we now have a consistent brand that we can talk about to our colleagues and our peers when we're traveling about. The very best ambassadors in the state of Oklahoma are right here in this room, in this area, in this city, and all across the state. I challenge each of us to consider how we can prominently display our new pride in Oklahoma. And as you travel personally, professionally, as you do business locally or internationally, talk about that. And as you post on social media and your websites, use this information that's out there and get the word out. Together as Oklahomans, we can reverse these perceptions of being one of those states in the middle and instead create an awareness that we are the very center of the United States. Again, congratulations, Governor Stitt, Lieutenant Governor Pinnell, and all of the OklaX volunteers for a job well done.
Adding 500 more from 3,500 to over 4,000 employees in the state of Oklahoma. That's a lot of people. And he is right, making sure that the business community is engaged with this branding effort on a day-to-day basis, because this is about creating more private sector jobs in the state of Oklahoma. Big piece of this. For us to move above that $4 million person number and keep on going in the right direction, moving the needle in that direction. So thank you, Steve, for being here. We appreciate your leadership. As we conclude our formal comments, please note that speakers and volunteers are available for individual interviews with our media guests, so media that is here. I invite all attendees to join us for a reception immediately following this, just down one floor to the Thunder Deck. You can take the elevators, or there are some stairs as well. You will each have an opportunity to take photos and assist us in sharing, again, this brand on social media, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the internets, okay? We need it everywhere. Please make sure that you share it. And we even have a special Snapchat filter as well for each of you all to try out as well. And as we stand here today in the corporate headquarters for the Oklahoma City Thunder, again, one of our premier brands, it was just a dream at one point to have this. I mean, if those of you all that have lived in this city and lived in this state, lived when we just had the dream of having a professional basketball team here, and now for it to be here, imagine that. Imagine that we are right here, right now. Visit us, do business with us, or live here among us. We're going to make this state a top 10 state and much better than okay. Thank you all so much for being here. And here to help us finish with the unveiling, please welcome members of the Oklahoma City Thunder dance team, sporting certainly the swag that we will have to offer. Those t-shirts are available to purchase travelok.com. Thank you all so much.